Oh, I'm live. It worked this time. So this has got to be maybe my first live in a really long time, literally like years. I don't know when the last time I did a live was. We're just gonna eat. We're gonna do a little mukbang. We're gonna see. Hi, hi, Connie. So I've left the chat there. So I was over on Instagram and I asked you guys, let me get rid of this thing. I was over on Instagram and I asked you guys if you wanted me to try out a live on YouTube, since I never do this and some of you guys are not on Instagram. So it's not fair that I always do lives on Instagram and I never do it over here, because like this is the way that I get to actually like talk to you guys and chat to you and see what's on your mind. And it's like actually like, you know, it's right, it's live, it's when it's happening, because otherwise I answer you later on and I reply later and stuff like that. So we can talk right now. So I wanted to start things off. It's gonna be a Q&A, I guess, because that's, you know, what we're about. Hi Tara. See, I recognize some of your names from Instagram. So I recognize Tara's name over on Instagram. So I have my hair, I do have my hair, but I have my lunch right here. It's eggs. It's just like a boiled egg, avocado on toast. I can't, it's some special kind of like seeded bread. I don't know what kind of bread. Um, yes, I remember so many of you guys from the comments. So you guys, I'm gonna be eating this and I'm gonna be checking the comments. And I literally just want to reply to the questions, like ask me questions, whatever you want to know. Literally anything. It doesn't have to be about hair. Like I mentioned hair in the title. I mentioned cutting my hair because it's just something that's been on my mind. I haven't spoken to you about it yet. But you know, like I think about it a lot. So I had a couple questions just now. How old are you? Can anyone guess? Guess how old I am, because I've said it before. I don't know how people do mukbangs. Like I'm eating. Like how I can't talk and eat at the same time, you know? I'm not fasting. I don't do Ramadan, so I'm not fasting. Um, no, I'm older than everyone said. Like 19, no. 21, no. Mm, not even 23. Like I'm literally your mom. I'm literally your mother. 26. I'm 26 now. I'm old. 41. Get out of town. mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Because some of you might remember, like, I started my YouTube channel like when I handed in my university dissertation. So when I finished uni, that's when I started my channel. And I've had my channel since then. So you know. But I've been doing skincare since I was like 19. So I've been doing like anti-aging skincare. So when I'm like 40, my channel's probably going to be like a skincare channel. And it's going to be teaching all the other 40-year-olds how to look young. Bye, Abigail. mm-hmm. I am. And then because I'm older, it means I don't have to get involved in like YouTube drama and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm British. How did you guys not know I'm British? I literally talk in all my videos. I talk on my Instagram lives all the time. Like, you guys must know that I'm British. Although some people think I'm Australian, which I'm not. Mm. By the way, you guys, I'm not going to cut my hair in this video. It's just something I've been thinking about and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because, like, I've had long hair for a long time. And I make lots of videos about how I grew my hair long and how I keep it long. But then it's like, it's not a challenge anymore, you know? It's like I could challenge myself. I could cut my hair really short and then grow it again. Like, that would be a huge challenge. Precious Travel Diary says, Lana, please don't start a family. channel. Guys, I don't have children. Mm. I couldn't start a family channel if I tried. Mm. Now everyone's saying that when they cut their hair, they regretted it and they cried. See, that's another thing I'm worried about. It's like, oh, I kind of want to do it for a challenge and like switch things up. But at the same time, I feel like I've been growing my hair out for so long. Like, do I just want to throw it all away by cutting it? Like, and it might be really hard. Like, it might be really hard to grow it again. Like, I have to do this all again. Like, I feel like once you reach the finish line, you forget how hard the journey was. And the journey was hard. Yeah, I could do more wigs. That's true. I could do a lot more wigs, and then I would kind of get over the need of like feeling like I need to change. Mm. Your hair will grow back. Like when you cut it, it will grow, but it will be hard. Mm. Everyone's saying I'm gonna regret it. I hope not. I just made a video about rice water. I think I got stuff stuck in my teeth. I just made the video about rice water. Like I literally just filmed it today. Mm. Spill the Yorkshire tea. What tea? What tea do you want? Is there tea? Is there tea that I'm not aware of? I feel like anyone that watches this live, like after we're not live anymore, if I still decide to post it on YouTube, anyone that watches this is not going to know what's going on because I literally keep replying to you guys and then like not saying who I'm replying to. So I need to like get better at doing lives and just explain who it is that I'm actually replying to. So Brell in the comments says, I thought you were from Florida or LA. I've literally never been to Florida. I've been to LA twice. The first time I went to LA was in 2017 for 1 week. And the second time that I went to LA was a couple of weeks ago for like 2 days. Like I was literally in LA for like 2 days, and I felt bad because there was like a few people I wanted to see. Like I wanted to see Lisette. I was gonna maybe try and stop in and see like Kennedy and Syria because I have not seen them in a long time. But I literally didn't have time, and I was wiped out after Coachella. Like I stayed with Paris. I met Paris in Tokyo, and she lives in Tokyo, but she's from LA, so she was back home in LA, and so she let me stay at her house for a couple of days, and I was so sick. Like Paris can tell you, I was just sniffing, coughing the whole time. So it's really sad. Yeah, I do have avocado. Sorry, like I'm not like I forgot what you guys are saying right there. Um, Moonlight Maria said, "What are you wearing?" So, a hoodie. It just says illusion on it, and jogging bottoms. That's it. Oh wait, someone said, tell me a story about high school. Tell us a story about quiet high school, Queen Ari says. Ah, story about high school. What kind of story? Friends, or do you know what? I could tell you a juicy story about high school if you wanted. I could tell you about side chicks and all of this. A friend story about high school. Um, okay. A friend story about high school. Once I had a friend. We'll call her Susan. Susan was not a nice girl. Susan was in fact a very mean girl. Um, but I guess she was kind of funny. She kind of reminded me of my older sister. Like my older sister kind of used to like bully me a bit, which meant that I used to be able to like defend myself against my older sister, and we had like a bit of banter like that. So my relationship with her was kind of like that. Like she would try and tease me, and I'd say something back to her, and we would just laugh about it. It was kind of okay when she was doing it to me because I could defend myself. But then I could see her doing it to other people, and it stopped being a joke, and it was more like she was just plain bullying them. So I was like, ooh, like, ooh, that's not good. Like, ooh, don't do that. So I was friends with all of these people, and I'm like, oh, I don't, like, can you stop? Anyway, we had like a lot of tensions. Like, so the year went by, and there was like a lot of tensions between us. And I had another friend who we shall call Taylor. So me and Taylor were really, really good friends. Like we used to hang out every day after school and stuff like that. And Susan didn't like that me and Taylor were such good friends because it was supposed to be like a trio, like the three of us. But me and Taylor were doing stuff after school because we just liked having fun. Like we didn't bully people and stuff. We just wanted to have fun. So like we could have fun without being mean, whereas like Susan always wanted to be mean to people, including me. And like the things she was saying to me just gradually got worse and worse to the point where I was just like, what are you? Why are you saying these things? Like they're not even funny. You're just being mean to me right now. Um, skip forward like a few months, and she's just outright starting to hate me. I can't even remember how it came about. I guess we must have had some falling out or something. She started trying to turn all of my classmates against me, and it got to the point where Taylor had a decision to make. She had to pick a side. There was no way she could be friends with both of us at the same time. She could either step out of it or pick a side. So she decided to pick Susan's side because she was scared of Susan, because Susan was so much bigger. People were scared of her because she used to bully people. She'd been in fights before, so people were scared about fighting her. And so Taylor, like my best friend, chose Susan's side. And it was okay for me. I had other friends in that class. I started hanging out more with other friends. And one of my friends, we shall call her Penelope. So I got a lot closer to Penelope, which is good because Penelope was such a nicer person and such a better person. So it was like good. Susan started spreading rumors around me, around the school, saying that I was like creeping on girls in the locker rooms and stuff like that. And I was just like, what? I don't know where she got any of this stuff from, but she was basically trying to spread around the school that like just spread rumors about me in school. But what she didn't know is that I had a lot of friends in school. So people were coming to me and being like, do you know she's saying these things about you? She's trying to start rumors about you. She's trying to say this. She's trying to say that. And I had a few friends who were like, do you want us to say something to her about it? Like next time she brings it up, like we should actually back you up, right? And I was like, yeah, sure, if you want to back her up. Next thing I know, I get to like my last period in school. I'm not in their class, like, because I was in a different class. And people are coming to me saying they chased her out of the classroom. She ran home. They were like, the whole class was like yelling at her because of stuff she was saying to you. I was like, what? Like, I didn't know. I didn't ask any of this to happen. I didn't know. She starts getting it because we were quite young. We were like 12. She starts getting like older kids, like 17-year-old kids coming to me, threatening me. And I stood my ground there because I knew one of these girls. Like one of these girls knew, like her mum knew my mum. So she's like thinking she's like setting people on me to like confront me. But then as soon as they get to me, they're like, oh, I know you. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's calm, it's calm. Like we're not gonna do anything. So then my sister, like obviously I've got people I knew in school as well. So like it's like everyone's feuding now because it's kind of like everyone's picking a side. Like there didn't even need to be sides or anything. And it gets to the point where literally I'm sitting there in class, I'm trying to do my work, and Susan is passing me notes back saying basically, do you want to start a fight? Like, do you want to have a fight? Actually, that's not what she said. The first one of the notes she said, I know a lot of people who don't like black people, so like you better be scared because there's going to be people that are going to come get you because I know a lot of people who don't like black people. And so I just wrote a note back and I was like, well, I know a lot of people who don't like racists, so like what are you even trying to say right now? Like I'm pretty sure I know a lot of people who don't like racists. And she took that to me like I'm threatening her, whatever. I was just like, whatever. So she said, we're starting a fight. So she goes around the whole class. She's like taking bets. She's like showing the size of her fist. She's like, yeah, I'm going to punch Lana with this fist. Like, who do you think's going to win? All of this. I'm like, Susan, like, and the teacher is there. Like, the teacher can obviously hear this. The whole class is talking about it. People are taking bets. Teacher didn't do anything. Like, if I was a teacher right now, I wouldn't have let us leave the class at the same time. Because basically what happened was, so the bell goes, everyone goes to leave the class. She steps out of the class before me, And the rest of the class, they already know what's about to happen, so no one's going anywhere. They're all out in the hallway because I guess they didn't want to start the fight in the classroom, so they were out in the hallway. And basically, she's standing there at the doorway waiting for me to step out of the classroom so that she can swing for me. And so I literally, like, my friend was there. She's like, well, I have to, like, leave the classroom. Like, I'm not about to, like, sit in here and cry about it. So I have to step out. As I stepped out, I gave my bag to my friend. And I stepped forward. Literally, someone pushed me on the bag. So I, like flew in front of this girl. And, like, straight away, she's, like, snapping, like, pulling my hair all sorts. And I had to, like, I don't know. Like, I don't encourage this, you guys. Like, violence is not the answer. But I had to do what I had to do. And, like, my only experience with fighting is fighting with my sisters. And me and my sisters used to punch each other, like, when we were kids. Like, we're only a year apart, so we used to argue a lot. We used to fight a lot. And, like we would, like, physically fight. Like, we were, like, we were, we were, like, really physical little kids. So, yeah, I was just like, well, I've fought with my sisters before. So, like, and my sister taught me how to punch as well. My sister was like, you need to learn how to defend yourself, so I'm going to teach you how to punch. So I'm like, okay, like, I had no choice. I could not escape this fight. It was literally like the door was here. I step out the door and everyone's waiting for me. She's right in front of me at the door. There's no other way to go. So I just end up in this fight, and then the teacher, like, separates us. And then because I threw punches, everyone said I won, because she was just, like, pulling hair and slapping, but everyone was like, yeah, Lana, like, did this, Lana did that. It was wild. But let me tell you, like, I never, ever, ever want to do that ever again. Because it was kind of like that adrenaline that I felt like in that fight. Like, that was like anxiety for me. Like, I didn't realize it at the time because I was so young. Like, the rest of the day, like, went on. I got sent home from school. I got in a load of trouble. She got in a load of trouble. After that, though, she tried to, like, be my friend again. I was like, I don't know. I guess she felt embarrassed or whatever. But, like, that adrenaline that I had in my chest on that day that actually enabled me to stand my ground and fight, that adrenaline sat in my chest for like 3 months. Like, I had anxiety for like 3 months. I was just like, the whole time I literally felt like my chest was tight the whole time. Like, it was just always there. Like, I didn't even know what it was. Like, I felt like I would feel relaxed sometimes, but it was just like constantly like tight. Like, I never want to do that again. And, like, I just encourage you guys, like, if there's somebody like that in your life, like someone who's toxic, like, this girl was toxic the whole time and I knew it. And the only reason me and her were friends is because, I don't know, I guess she thought I was funny, or honestly, I think what it was is because I'm mixed race, she thought that I would be a troublemaker like her. Like, that's what it was. And then when it turns out, oh, actually, I'm in, like, the advanced classes and I'm a bit of a nerd, and actually I'm friends with all the people that you bully, then she was kind of like not really feeling it anymore. She didn't really want me to be her friend anymore, so she just decided to start this hate campaign against me. I do not know what was in her head. I really don't. But she was a toxic person. So if you have people like that in your life, especially in school, just get them out of the picture before it gets to that point. Like, that's all I can say. Get them out of the picture. Because it's not worth it. I know, like, these days, honestly, I feel like that. Like, when, like, I never felt like I was uncool for being a nerd, you know what I mean? Like, if anything, I feel like if you actually care about your future and you care about your studies, people respect it. Do you know what I mean? Someone says here, Ida says, oh, I lost it. Ida says, no girl, I'm 55. I'm getting there, lol, but age is just a number to me. In my opinion, it's your attitude about life that determines how young or old you feel. You're still a youngin'. I still feel like a youngin'. It's weird because I'm, like, at that age where, like, some of my friends are literally married. Some of my friends have literal children, like, not babies, literal children. And I can be friends, like, I can be friends with somebody who's 40. Like, we can actually be friends. We can go and get lunch together and stuff. Like, we can be friends. But I can also be friends with somebody who's, like, quite a few years younger than me as well. Like, some of my friends are, like, 19. But it doesn't feel too strange, but, like, it doesn't feel weird. It's like we can be friends. Like, obviously I'm older than you, so I feel like more protective over you. Like, if we go for lunch together, I'm probably gonna pay for it just because, like, I'm older, so I've had, like, more opportunity to, like, earn money and stuff. So it just, like, makes sense for me to, like, pay for it. Like, I'll, like, do whatever. I'm probably going to give you advice. Like, sorry if it seems patronizing or whatever, but you just kind of get to that mentality. Like, when you're just a bit older, like, some people will look at you and they think, oh, because you don't look older and because you're not like old, people will think like, why are you like babying me? Why are you trying to give me advice? Like, it's just patronizing. But the thing is, like, I feel like you learn so much, like between the ages of say 18, 19 and 26, like I am now, you learn a lot. Like, in that space of time, like, I've been to university, so that was like my first time away from home. University is really hard, so I learned like how to be determined, how to be like stay in a good headspace while you're studying and being put to the test all the time, and meeting all these new people, and like working a 9 to 5 job for the first time, and actually living in your own house for the first time, and paying bills and doing chores like washing and doing the dishes and stuff like that, and actually getting it all done, and just like actual grown-up real life things actually really shape you in your 20s. And you do have a lot of advice to give to people. Like, a 25-year-old has a lot of advice to give to a 20-year-old, and sometimes a 20-year-old doesn't want to hear it, but it's still valid advice, you know? Let's see. True nerds are gonna save the world. I'm sorry, I'm eating. Muhammad L says Daenerys. Do you know what's really weird? Like, you guys who are watching right now, you can tell me, who watches Game of Thrones? People here watch Game of Thrones, right? No, I'm not gonna spoil it because I don't watch it, but I know who Daenerys is. And I get so many comments, not so many, but like enough comments that I've noticed it, of people telling me that I look like Daenerys or Emilia Clarke, and I'm like, hmm? Do you know what I think it is? I think she has a very expressive eyebrows, like, ooh. And I have very expressive eyebrows, so I think maybe that's what it is. But anyone else can give me their input on that. Mm. Miss Mariana says, are you living in Korea? No. So whenever you see a video in this room, like this room right here is my bedroom at home in London. So if you see me when I'm in this room, you know that I'm in London, which is most of the time. Thank you. L'Oreal Williamson said I had beautiful eyebrows. I did fill them in though. Like, I just fill them in like over here, but I'm quite lucky because they're quite thick anyway. Anya Bargo says, born and brought up in London. Do you know what? I always say London because I have a worldwide audience. I have people all over the world watching me. And if I told you the exact area that I live, then a lot of people would have no idea where that is in the world. And also, I don't want to be too specific about where I live either, because that's just not safe when you're online. So I always say that I live in London. But actually, I live in Essex, which is east of London. And technically, London is partly in Essex. See, a lot of people don't realise that London's a multi-city and it spans multiple counties. Like, if you think most cities sit in one county, right? But London sits in multiple counties, which are known as the home counties. So London is in Essex, it's in Hertfordshire, it's in Sussex, is it? It's in Buckinghamshire. Yeah, it's in a whole bunch of counties. So East London technically sits in Essex. There you go. Little fact for you. So yeah, technically I'm born and raised in Essex, not London. I'm sorry, you guys. This was not the good time to do a mukbang, was it? While everyone's fasting. People keep asking me if I'm fasting, but no, I'm not fasting. I'm not Muslim, so I don't fast. Fatuma Hersey says, what ethnicity are you? I'm actually a mixed race ethnicity. My dad is Nigerian and my mom is British. So she's white British. She's like white through and through. Like her parents are Scottish. She's mainly Scottish, like Scottish blood. And my dad is Nigerian. Mm. Arinana Molina says, how long have you been a vegetarian for? I've been a vegetarian since I was 7. Because I wanted to be a vet. And I used to do pretend operations on my cat. And a funny story once, like I think I learned a word from EastEnders. You know, EastEnders is a bit risque for children. Sometimes they swear on that show and sometimes they use, you know, like more adult behavior. So I knew there was a word for when you put anesthetic through somebody's blood is to sedate them. You sedate somebody with like anesthetic, right? I knew that from watching all my vet shows, but I heard the word seduce on EastEnders. And when I was like 6 or 7, obviously I got confused. And I said to my mum, I'm going to seduce the cat. My mum was like, you're going to do what to the cat? I said, I'm going to seduce the cat, Mum. No, obviously I meant I'm going to sedate the cat. And I was only pretending because I was pretending that I was a vet. So, yeah, I always wanted to be a vegetarian since then. Like, as soon as I discovered that a vegetarian was something you could be, immediately I decided that's what I am. Like, there was no debate about it. I was like, oh, you can be a vegetarian. That's me. So, yeah, ever since I was 7. And I've gone through, like, periods of being vegan and not. But, yeah. Let me try to eat this. This lamp gets super hot. It's really hot in here. Mm. Mm. Maddie1435 says, do I feel pressure to find somebody? Mm, not really. Like, I'm assuming you mean like a romantic partner, you know? But the thing is, like, I'm so busy. Like, I know that's like, I feel like that's such like a cliche thing for somebody in their 20s to say, like, I'm too busy for that. But honestly, I am. Like, I'm working on content for YouTube. I'm working on content for Instagram. I'm working on other secret projects that I hope you find out about soon if everything goes well. You know, I go to the gym, I practice languages, and these things are all really important to me, and I just don't really feel like in a position to give them up to spend time with somebody. And I know it's like, I don't know if that sounds like really heartless, but it's like I have things I need to do. Like, I'm busy, I have goals, and I don't want to have to give up any of my goals or work less to try and like find time for somebody. Because like if you are trying to like date or whatever, you need to like actually spend time with people, and it's kind of unfair if you don't. Like, it's kind of unfair if you're like, oh yeah, let's date, but I don't have time for you. Like, that's kind of unfair unless you find somebody who is happy with that. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be happy with that, and if they're not happy with that, then it's not fair to do that, really. So um yeah, I just don't really have time for dating or trying to find somebody, and I'm just not really interested in it right now. So maybe when things calm down or something, or maybe if I just start to feel lonely one day, then I will. But I don't feel lonely, I feel fine. You know, I have friends, I have family, I have you guys, so it's all good with me. Mm. Top 3 places I recommend visiting. Do you know what? I would say out of the places that I've been to, go to Hawaii and surf. If you're not into water sports, then I feel like Hawaii is not going to be the place for you because it is obviously an island. There's other things you can do in Hawaii, like you can hike. There's loads of hiking trails and like tons of fun stuff to do. But for me, one of the best things to do in Hawaii is surf and paddleboard and be out on the water and scuba dive and snorkel and all of that stuff. So if you're into that, then check out Hawaii. And also if you're in Hawaii, then go to the Polynesian Culture Center and they will actually show you and teach you about actual Polynesian culture instead of sort of, you know, just chilling in Waikiki the whole time and just basically being on a resort where you don't see very much Polynesian culture. Also, if you guys are into East Asian cultures, then check out Korea and Japan. So a lot of people don't realize, like some people want to decide, oh, should I go to Japan or should I go to Korea? But seriously, it's like a 2-hour flight from Seoul to Tokyo. So if you're over there, like, because I'm from the UK, if you guys are in the US, if you've made that like 10, 12, 15-hour journey to get to one of those places, you may as well take the 2-hour flight and go to the next place as well. So when I was in Korea, I also hopped over to Tokyo for a few days. And I think it's definitely worth seeing both places and experiencing both places. I feel like the culture, like both cultures are very different from Western culture in a lot of similar ways, but the two cultures are very different from each other as well. So it is worth seeing both. Mm. Hmm. Somebody just asked about my matcha face mask. So it was by Teamy. It was by Teamy Blends who do the tea. So it's Teamy Blends tea. And they also are now doing face masks because the tea is very good for your skin. So I don't have stuck in my teeth. I don't know how people do mukbangs all the time and get stuff in their teeth and just like roll with it. Mm. These comments are strange. I don't know what's going on, but somebody said something about smelling your like. How can I smell my upper lip? Bye, Connie. I think Connie's been here from the start. We're gonna miss you, girl. Bye. Um, it says this. How much did it cost in total? What do you mean? Do you mean the trip? Like, the trip to Korea and Tokyo? Do you know what? Honestly, I don't know. I didn't keep a good track of how much money I spent, but what I do know is that when I book flights, I always book flights with Skyscanner because on Skyscanner you can check and see what day the cheapest flights are going to be on. So I'm lucky because I'm flexible and I can just book the flight on the cheapest day. But some people are going to have to, you know, stick to a stricter schedule. They're going to have to be like, right, well, I have to leave on this day. Like, this is the only day I can get off work, so I have to go on these days. So you might find that you have to pay a bit more money. So for me, I tend to just like book the cheapest flight. So I had return flights from London Heathrow to Incheon Airport in Seoul, and then from Seoul Incheon Airport back to London Heathrow. And the return, like the whole round trip was like 400 pounds. It wasn't a lot. Like it was that's like a really good price to do that. And then I booked the tickets to Japan. Like, bear in mind, I booked these tickets to Seoul like 3 weeks in advance, two or 3 weeks in advance of actually going. And then when I went to Japan, I literally booked the flights to Japan like 2 days before going. And so I paid about £200 each way, so it was about £400. But my friends were like, oh my god, I can't believe you, like my friends who are Korean, they were like, I can't believe you paid that much. Like it costs like 80 pounds to get to Japan. Like it shouldn't cost £200, but it's because I booked it so late. And then obviously I missed the flight and I had to buy another one, so that was a bummer, but it was okay. And I was just happy to go, even if it was just for like a few days in Tokyo. I think it was like still worth going, even just for the short while. Um, yeah, and I have friends in like a lot of countries as well, so like I tend to stay with them. Like when I was in LA, I stayed with Paris, and yeah. Um, and Anya says, "Are you planning to go to India?" Do you know what? I used to really want to go to India. I was really, really interested in going, and I think I still will. I'm not sure when. Mm. I'm not sure when, but I would still like to go to India. Leah says, do I have a makeup routine video? I have a whole bunch of makeup routine videos. This makeup routine, I'd say, is probably most similar to like the one where I use the Korean products, because I'm using a lot of them today. So I'm using the Holika Holika Glow Foundation. I did have the BTS lip liqueur, the BT21 lip liqueur with BT Cosmetics in the shade Vans shade. I did have that on my lips, but a lot of it came off. I've got the 3CE Take a Layer Pots on my cheeks. I have the Tony Moly eyeliner on. And I have the Etude House Peach Play Bar eyeshadow. It's like glittery. I like it. I'm sorry. I'm really bad with pronouncing names. Curly Tori says, would you like to live in another country one day? Absolutely. I used to think it would be really easy. Because, like, the weird thing is, like, when I was growing up, because I used to argue with my family so much, like, my sisters and stuff. So I thought it'd be really easy to live somewhere else, because I always just wanted to. I always just used to think, like, I need to get away. Like, we just argue all the time. But then as soon as I lived away, like, I just missed everybody so much. And now that I came back home again, it makes me scared about moving so far away again. Before I used to live in Cheltenham, and that's about 300 miles away. So I used to be able to come back on the weekends and stuff, but it would take about 4 hours, and I didn't really have time to do that all the time, because obviously you have stuff to do on the weekends. You can't just be leaving, going out of town every weekend. So I used to come home maybe once a month, and it was stress. It was stress. Like, I just felt so lonely. I missed everybody, and it just felt like a piece of me was missing. Like, all my family and stuff are back here, so like I didn't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could get used to living away again, but then I'd still have this feeling like I miss everybody so much. The apartment that I was staying in Korea, somebody asked how much it cost. So it was actually an Airbnb, so I was just paying like per night. The hosts were really lovely though, and I kind of want to go back and stay at that same apartment. So I kind of feel like I might ask them like privately, like, can I just book this like per month instead of like paying per night? I don't know what they'd say to that. Um, I think it was about £25 a night. Like, it's super cheap. Like, everything is really cheap in Korea. Like, you guys saw that apartment. It was so nice. So, so nice. And it was in Dongmyo. Like, it was right in the heart. It was, it's a 10-minute walk to Dongdaemun. It's right in the heart of everything. And it was such a nice apartment. It was like £25 a night or something like that. The weird thing was that it got more expensive the longer you booked it. Like, usually things like, it's like buying in bulk, so it's like usually the longer you book it, you start to get a discount, and it ends up being less per night the longer you stay. But for some reason with that one, it was like if I stayed one night, it was like £16. But if I stayed like a week, then it ends up being like £30 a night. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. Hi, Robina. Yeah, Curly Tory. I'm pretty sure I could pay per month, maybe. I don't know. They were super lovely. They were so nice in that place. Um, oh, L'Oreal Williamson says, yes, I won some makeup through YesStar. They ran a little competition on Instagram and I just entered. Like, I didn't think I was gonna win or anything like that. Because me and my friend, we love Blackpink, and the first prize was actually tickets to go and see them playing in Berlin. And I saw them at Coachella, and my friend hadn't seen them. My friend didn't go to Coachella. And she loves them like so much. So I was just like, oh, let's enter this competition. The first prize is tickets to go and see them. She hasn't seen them. Like, we can go to Berlin together and go and see them. So we didn't win first prize, but we did win second prize, which was the Moonshot collaboration with YesStyle, which is Blackpink. So yeah, I could try it, but I think like the main item is a foundation, and the foundation is in the shade beige, which is way too pale for me, like way too pale. And so I kind of regretted even opening it, because now I'm like, oh, can I like even give this away to somebody? Like, I've opened it and I've like dropped it onto my hand. Like, I knew it was going to be too pale, but I did it anyway. So now it's like kind of open. I don't know if I can give it away to anybody. Um, Precious Travel Diary says, I've never been to a concert. You have to go to a concert, please. Concerts are amazing, like especially if you find a band that you're like so super obsessed with. Going to a concert is like, it's just incredible. It's amazing. And guess what? I'm going to a BTS concert on the 1st of June, and I'm so excited. But it's so weird because they literally came to London. And I remember like over a year ago when they first announced that they were even doing the Love Yourself tour, and it was going to be a world tour, and they were going to come to London for the first time ever in London. And I was actually freaking out, running about the house, like, oh my god, they're going to come to London. And then the Hunger Games mentality set in, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to get a ticket. I'm not going to get a ticket. And I was super stressed about it. And then yeah, I managed to get a ticket through StubHub, paid a whole bunch of money, and went to Paris because that was the only place I could get a ticket. And yeah, it was just so incredible. And I thought that was going to be like the first time I thought it was going to be the only time I was going to get to see them. I didn't think they were going to come back to London so soon, and yet here they are. So it's like, what are you guys saying? Do you know what, the BTS tickets this time around, I feel like so many more people got a ticket, like obviously because last year they did 2 dates at the O2, and the O2 is 20,000 capacity arena. So you think they did 2 dates, so that was only 40,000. So that really was like the Hunger Games, like people could not get tickets to that. But then this year they're doing 2 nights at Wembley Stadium. That's 90,000 capacity. That's 180,000 tickets. So I feel like a lot of people got tickets this time. Yeah, I got a ticket, and I gave one to my friend because my sister decided not to come out with me. Yeah, I'm going on Wembley day 1. I do have Instagram. Jenna just said, do I have Instagram? And yeah, I do. It's at Lana Summer. Let's see. Lami says, what's Airbnb? Airbnb is a service where people can rent out their own homes via the website, so you can stay at a home. These days though, a lot of people have turned it into a business. So these days people will have a building that they own and they manage, but it's not technically their home because they don't live in it. They just constantly have guests coming and going. Like, they use it like a hotel. They're like, yes, okay, it's my home, but I've never lived there. Is basically a hotel. Like, lots of people are very, very rich from Airbnb. They get so rich that they buy another apartment, and then they start putting that one on Airbnb, and then they have enough money, they can buy another one, and then they put another one on Airbnb, and they're basically like, people are becoming like their own hotel managers and stuff through that website. But it's just really good because it means that you get to they're usually cheaper than hotels, but usually nicer, better. They usually give you everything you need. It's just nice because you kind of get to live like a local, and they're usually like right in the heart of cities and everything, and they're just nice. Bye, Leah. So SS says, what block are you in at Wembley BTS tour? So I'm going on the 1st of June and I'm in, I don't know what the block is. I'm in 120. Is that the block? 120? That's where I am. What's the time? Oh, guys, it's getting late. It's almost 5 o'clock. It's almost 5 o'clock. My friend just texted me, like, she's like, I have this friend, and she's the sort of person who, like, she always comes up with, like, the most random thing to do together. And it's just funny because it's like, it's just, I end up doing stuff with her that I wouldn't do with anybody else. Like, she's just texted me and said, like, she plans well in advance as well. She's like, are you free on the 4th of July to celebrate at a comedy club to celebrate July 4th with American comedians? Like, okay, like, I wasn't gonna do anything on July 4th, but let's do that. Okay, let's go to a comedy club. That's sure, let's do it. Thank you for the subscribe, Jennifer. Atina A says, "Are you close to the stage?" Not really. We're kind of in the row that's like not on the floor. We're pretty close in the first section of the tiered parts. So if this is like the floor of the stadium, and then you've got like this row, and then you've got like this level, and then you've got this one. So we're gonna be like here. Wow. Precious Travel Diary says, I have to spend $8,000 on a 5-day trip. Like, where are you going? Space? Are you going to the moon? Like, why is it costing you so much money for a 5-day trip? $8,000? Lamy says, how many languages can you speak? Not many. Literally, I get so nervous when anybody asks me about languages. I speak a tiny bit of Spanish, a tiny bit of Korean, and then, you know, like, just a little bit of everything else, you know, like a tiny bit, like French, I guess. Just a tiny, like, literally a tiny bit of French, not a lot at all. What are you guys talking about? Oh. What are you talking about? Somebody keeps saying something about my lip, like, smell your upper lip. What do you mean? Who's the best foundation with full coverage? I always go back to my Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I love it. It lasts all day. It looks good all day. I use it all the time. I had it when I was in America a couple of years ago, and I actually got it again to go to Korea because I knew I was going to need a full coverage foundation. I don't speak Igbo. I don't know anything Igbo. I still have my lunch, you guys. I've been talking so much. Oh. The Chicago Penguin says, does it work for oily skin? So I'm going to assume you mean the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I have oily skin and it works for me. So I want something that's going to kind of mattify my skin and not have it looking so, like, oily. Yes, it works well. And I'm pretty sure they have a good shade range as well. So my winter shade in that, I think, was like sand. I don't know. I can't remember what the shade is. I don't speak any German. Literally, I Intende inglés. Somebody says, what do I think about Meghan Markle? I think Americans care a lot more about Meghan Markle than people in Britain do. Like, I think, like, oh, sorry about that, guys. I mean, we've always had a royal family. So when someone joins the royal family or someone doesn't, like, You know, I feel like a lot of people here don't care about the royal family. Like, we don't care what they're doing. We don't care what they're getting up to. We don't care about what kind of drama that the magazines are trying to say that they're getting into. Like, you know, the whole William and Kate thing? I literally only knew about that because of Twitter, because no newspaper, no magazine, no one was covering anything about Will cheating on Kate. And I think maybe a lot of it is to do with the fact that you're not allowed to say something like that. Like, if it's not true, it can't be reported on, I guess, because it might be treason. So we're not, like, we can't, you know, we can't be dealing with treason. So we're not about to accuse the future King of England of cheating on his wife. Um, so yeah, we just don't talk about a lot of that stuff. And but you know, Meghan, you know, the royal family is difficult to be involved in. There's lots of rules, there's lots of things you're not allowed to do, there's lots of social etiquette that you have to learn. It's really, really difficult to be part of the royal family, and you have to give up a lot of yourself. And I think that Meghan probably struggles with a lot of that. And she has a lot of judgment against her as well, because obviously she wasn't raised royal, so she has a lot of habits and everything that normal people have, and she has a past, not a typical royal past, because she wasn't royal, so she has a lot to overcome before she wins over the royal family in the UK, I think. um oh, everybody's, oh my gosh, Rosie Vibes says opinions on James Charles. What are you guys saying? Does anybody want to hear my opinions on James Charles? Well, I'm going to talk about it. Basically, you know what, I don't even care. I wasn't even subscribed to James Charles in the first place. It's not even the, you know, because I don't believe in cancel culture. So when everyone wanted to cancel him in the past, even then I didn't care. I've never been subscribed to him. Obviously, I know who he is, because I'd have to be living under a rock to be in the YouTube beauty community and not know who James Charles is. Like, so obviously I'm involved in the community. I know who he is. I just never really cared. Like, his makeup style is not something that I do. Like, and that, like, all of those people, all the ones that are sort of there for the tea and the drama and are super like sassy and all of this, like, I'm not really here for it. It's not really my kind of cup of tea. And then the Tati video came up in my recommended, and I was subscribed to Tati actually, because um she made some like actual helpful makeup videos back in the day, and she's like an OG, so like I was subscribed to her. A video came up in my recommended. I just clicked on it, you know, because it was called like Bye Sister. It was like, obviously, like, it's supposed to be like a dramatic title, and it won me over, so like I clicked on it. And I just, because she has a soothing voice, and I found myself just listening to it. Like, I did put it on like the plus 1.25 speed because it's a long video, so I was just like, let me just get through this video. I just want to hear what she's saying. And I just had that on. I think, like, I'm probably tidying my room or something like that, because I do that quite a lot. Like, I listen to vlogs and things just in the background. Oh, bye, Jennifer. Bye. So yeah, so I watched it, and the things she was saying, I was like, oh god, that's awful. Oh no, I can't believe he did that, and I can't believe he did this, and I can't believe that happened. And I did kind of feel myself, like, the whole vitamins thing, I was like, like, mm, mm, like, like, people were saying, like, to her, like, oh, I don't know, like, I think it was the Gabriel guy. I have no idea who he is, but Gabriel was apparently saying, um, oh, I can't believe you're getting so upset about vitamins. And she was like, it's not just about vitamins. It's like, well, it is. Like, the reason you've blown up is because of the vitamins. Like, that's why you blew. That's why you went off, was because of the vitamins. But now you're trying to say that it's all these other things, and it's just been this accumulation of things. It's like, well, if it was an accumulation of those things, those are all things that you could have been dealt with in private. Like, those are not things that should have been aired. None of those things affect your business. Like, none of those things affect you personally. Like, if those are problems that you have with James, then you should have dealt with them privately. Like, they're not to do with the vitamins. Like, she kept trying to say, like, oh, he's publicly humiliated me by speaking about the vitamins. But it's like, okay, then respond with the vitamins. Don't respond with like allegations of this, allegations of that, accusing him of this, accusing him of that, because that has nothing to do with the vitamins. Like, it has nothing to do with it, and it's not like he did it personally to you, so why are you taking it out on him personally, publicly? I don't know. Anyway, the things that were said in that video were disgusting enough to me to make me think like, oh, he's bad, like, he's bad. And people were cancelling him and stuff, and I did feel kind of bad because, you know, I know he's just 19. It's not like he only just came into the public eye. Like, he's been in the public eye since he was like 16 or something like that, maybe even younger. So he's somebody who's had to do all of his growing up, make all of his mistakes in public. And if these things are things that truly happen, then I'm sure those are things that he would have liked to have been made aware of and dealt with in private. Anyway, I was over it. Everyone was talking about it. And then he made his video with receipts. And then Tati deleted her 2 videos after he came with the receipts. And I was just like, it's just horrible. It's vile. Some of the things that Jeffree Star was saying to him were just disgusting. Like, some of the things that Jeffree, a grown man, was saying to James, it's just, those are the kind of things, like, especially, like, some of these things he said to him out of the blue without even arguing first, like, wake up in the morning and wake up to a text as vile as that. Like, that's, I mean, that's definitely enough to ruin your day, quite a bit more. So, yeah, the things that Jeffree was saying were horrible, like, disgusting things. Especially then when James showed the video of Jeffree pretty much saying all of the exact same things that James had been saying, that they were saying, oh, it's really disgusting when James says this, but then James showed a video of Jeffree saying the same thing, and it was like, well, when Jeffree says it, it's fine, but then when James says it, he's a predator and he's disgusting and he's this and he's that and he needs to be locked up. Like, hang on, you said it too. Like, the whole thing with, like, James saying that he finds himself being attracted to straight guys. Like, and they've really tried to demonize him for that, and it's really awful because, like, members of the LGBT community already have enough trouble with that. Like, people think they're predators, people are scared of them because they don't want them to hit on them. Like, oh no, like, and for you to try and make out that James is like a predator just because he's trying to figure out who he's attracted to and who he's not, and then sort of reaching out to people. And what he says is that, I mean, he admits that maybe he was a bit too flirtatious or a bit too forward, but from what I understand, he's young, he's inexperienced in that department of, like, actually, like, putting himself out there. So, I mean, if he gives somebody a compliment, like, I don't know, it's tricky territory, but it left me kind of feeling sorry for him that he had to go through all of that and so much abuse from his friends, publicly, trying to ruin his career and bring him down over maybe a few misguided comments that he made as a young person. I don't know. I think if he's going to be cancelled, it shouldn't be for that reason. It should be for some other things that he's done. But at the end of the day, I think he's, like, I don't believe in cancelling people. I feel like that denies people the chance to grow. And I think people are growing their whole life. I don't think you reach an age where you're suddenly perfect. I think that you need to learn from mistakes. Like, you don't learn until you do something. Like, you don't learn, like, it literally, it's with everything. Like, at some point you learned not to pour water into an upturned spoon because it's going to splash everywhere. But how did you learn that? You had to do it first, right? You had to do it first to realize that's not a right thing to do because it's going to splash everywhere. You don't want that. So, you know, like, you have to go through everything to learn anything. So I just think if you're going to cancel somebody for that, cancel somebody for their mistakes, then I don't understand that at all. Yeah, and then there was the issue with Tati's vitamins. You know, I think she should have been more understanding as a friend. Like, that's just what I think. I think when I saw the text between James and Tati, I feel like there was room there for her to be more understanding. Like, she jumped straight to it being about her. Oh no, it's my vitamins, blah blah blah. Deny, like, completely, like, I mean, from what I could see, he tried to do his best to shift the attention to the sleep vitamins rather than the hair, which he didn't want to do because he knows he had a young audience, but he was still trying to do that as a friend to her because he didn't want to be promoting something that was a direct competitor to her. So he did try. Um, Messy. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Like, this is not a drama channel. I'm not here for the drama. I don't get involved in the drama. I don't know these people. They don't know me. You know, it's just messy, isn't it? It's just messy. And it's not what we need to be into. So Maria Isabel Aquino Veras says, "Hi Lana, I've been using the rice water technique for about a month now and I really like it. I haven't seen as much." Oh, where did it go? I can't read that quickly. Oh, "I haven't seen as much growth, but my hair feels way healthier. What other hair growth tips do you have?" So you're in need because you're in luck, I mean, because I literally filmed today an updated like a Q&A about rice water and also a hair growth tips video because I feel like both of those were needed. I was getting a lot of questions about both. So I've answered it all in a video that I filmed earlier, and I wanted to edit one today, but then I've been on live the whole time, so I haven't really done any editing lately. Not this afternoon anyway. Oh, the comments keep going. Come on. Come back. Hmm. Up for it gal says Tati needs to understand that she doesn't own James. I agree. Mm. Everybody's very right. Anyway, I'm gonna head off now. I think it's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna tidy up and head back. Head back to work. Bye. Bye everybody. It was nice talking to you.